Hello and welcome to PlayStation Grenade. With Destiny 2 upon us, I thought we should go back in time and refresh our memories of the first Destiny title and all those DLC and expansions. So sit back, grab the popcorn and let's relive 3 years of grind. Let's start off with the magic golf ball in the sky. It may look ridiculous, but it's the most important element in Destiny and the sequel. This is the Traveler. It has the ability to terraform planets, changing the atmosphere, the temperature, the ecology, basically everything that makes a planet habitable. Just like our home here on Earth. As the 21st century came to a close, humanity tracked down the Traveler on Mars and made contact. It ended up being a great decision as it gave us a wealth of knowledge to create technology only possible in science fiction films. So what did mankind do with all their newly acquired information? Off we went to check out every corner of our solar system, settling on many planets such as Venus and a few moons too. Destiny tells us this is the golden age of humanity. As is always the case, nothing lasts forever and the golden age collapsed. The Traveler, who was seen as a god by many of mankind, was being pursued by an unknown force only referenced as the Darkness.
I believe in a thing called love. Just
No, not that darkness, a real threat. It became apparent that the Traveler continually moved on after terraforming planets in a way to keep the darkness at bay. Mankind, in part, were prepared for the coming war through the creation of weapons of mass destruction. These included some awesome weapons like the Gjallarhorn, a rocket with tracking solar shells. This was such a great weapon during Destiny Year 1. Other weapons included the entire Exo race, who were created in the image of humanity but built for combat purposes. Same too for the 6 war minds, who were artificial intelligence strategic warfare entities built for the same purpose: protect humanity. Fighting a losing battle where almost all of humanity was obliterated, the Traveler sacrificed itself to save mankind. With its dying breath of life, the Traveler created ghosts. These cute little buggers were tasked with finding great warriors and key personnel who could harness the light, a mythical power the Traveler possesses. These risen dead became known as the Guardians. That's where the game begins, as our ghost locates our dead corpse and resurrects us. Our ghost acts as a companion, a scout, a tour guide, a computer hacker, a librarian, and best of all, a torch in those dark corridors. He's like a Swiss Army knife of awesome. The ghost and all subsequent powers we received as Guardians are powered by the Traveler's light. So you can see why the golf ball in the sky is so important to the story. Essentially, Destiny is an age-old story of light versus dark, good versus evil. Anyway, once awake, we quickly find a way to repair our first ship. We travel to the last city on Earth, which was built around the final resting place of the Traveler.
Welcome to the last safe city on Earth. The only place the Traveler can still protect. It took centuries to build. Now, we're counting every day it stands. And this tower is where the Guardians live.
Here we meet the 3 Guardians who make up the Vanguard: Zavala, Cayde, and Ikora. Commander Zavala is arguably the overall leader of the group with a strong military background. He's very matter of fact and not to be joked with. Cayde 6, on the other hand, is always joking. He brings off the wall suggestions to the table and thinks outside the box.
Ikora, if you tell me this is a practical joke, well, it kills me to say it, but I would be really impressed.
Impressing you, Cayde, is the easiest thing I'll do all day.
Finally, Ikora Rey is the scholar of the Vanguard with a wealth of knowledge, making her the perfect foil to Cayde's antics. Coincidentally, the Vanguard also represent all forms of modern-day humanity: human, exo, and awoken. And all 3 character class options we have too: Titan, Hunter, and Warlock. Hunter for life, by the way, Hunter for life. Amongst other important personalities we meet, the Speaker is the key character because of his connection to the Traveler.
Until it wakes and finds its voice, I am the one who speaks for the Traveler.
Our Guardian is convinced to join the cause and is subsequently sent on numerous missions around the solar system.
Join them. Your ghost will guide you. I only hope he chose wisely.
I did. I'm sure of it. We're in this together now.
We first encounter the Fallen on Earth. They're a ragtag group of pirate mercenaries who pop up at almost every location in the game. We take down Sepic's prime and overgrown servitor, who is our first real challenge as a Guardian. Our travels then take us to Earth's moon, where we find the Hive, an undead army with supernatural abilities. As luck would have it, we perfectly time our fact-finding mission and discover the Hive are preparing to invade Earth and attack the last city, so of course action must be taken. After battling our way through to the ritual chamber,
Here it is, the darkest of all the Hive's chambers.
we discover the Hive had a shard of the Traveller and were stripping the light from it, thus taking life force from the big golf ball in the sky. Keep in mind how important the light is to Guardians. We need that light to keep our ridiculous abilities.
They were using it against the Traveler, devouring its light. But we freed it.
If you were paying attention during the opening few hours of the campaign, a mysterious female Exo is tracking our Guardian. At this point, she tells us to go to Venus, and as the good lapdogs we are, we do exactly what a stranger tells us to.
I got some broken coordinates. Venus, Northern Hemisphere, Ishtar region.
Here on Venus, our Guardian locates a conflux, which belongs to the next race of super baddies we'll be taking down, the Vex. These guys are mechanized and militarized race of beings that all share a single consciousness. They have the sole purpose of spreading across the galaxy, making attempts to communicate with them futile. The conflux is their way to transport across galaxies in a moment. It's basically a portal or a time gate. Once we've dispatched this Vex scouting party, the stranger turns up to give us some useful information.
Who are you?
Why have you been watching us?
I don't even have time to explain why I don't have time to explain.
She does speak in riddles, but credit to her, she lets us know about the Black Garden.
Find the Black Garden. Rip out its heart. Only then will your traveler begin to heal.
To get to that Black Garden, our Guardian is first sent to the Reef to speak to the Queen of the Awoken.
Where did all this come from?
Every ship that could escape fled Earth during the collapse. They made it this far. I guess they died out here.
It's a graveyard.
The Awoken are a tricky race to decipher. They began as normal, everyday humans who attempted to outrun the darkness. The darkness caught up to the convoy and massacred the majority of the fleet, but remarkably, some of the populace managed to survive.
How did the Awoken survive?
No one knows.
Sadly, something changed in them and they were no longer human and are described as
The Awoken. Out there wavering between the light and the dark.
Their motivations and loyalties are unknown, but the leadership system is based on monarchy.
I am a Guardian from Earth. We're searching for the Black Garden. Do you know where it is?
Everyone knows where it is.
The Awoken eventually agreed to help us find a passage to the Black Garden, but with an annoying caveat.
We'll make you a key. How's that? All we need is the head of a Vex Gate Lord.
A Gate Lord? Yeah, we...
Why do you want a Vex head?
Oh, we don't. And I doubt we'll get one either.
So once again, we go on an adventure to bring back the goods. Back on Venus, our Guardian systematically wrecks the Vex and retrieves the head of a Gate Lord without breaking a sweat. Once it's taken to the Awoken, we find that the Gate Lord's head has a trinket inside, which will allow us passage to the Black Garden.
We gift it, in sympathy for their traveler.
Mars. 84 North, 32 East.
Looks like we're going to Mars, but before we can go, the Queen tells us that we owe her a favour.
Should the Awoken ever need an ally, I will call on you. And expect you to answer.
Looks like we'll be coming back in the DLC. Anyway, off to Mars we go. Here on the Red Planet, we meet the Cabal, who are the final race encountered in Destiny 1's story. And these guys will also play the primary enemy in Destiny 2. The Cabal's heritage is pretty cool. They're essentially a race of brick shithouse war machine rhinos who are kicked out of their own empire when going into war. The only way to be taken back is to be victorious in battle. This ultimately makes the Cabal completely focused in every fight, as they can't ever retreat without giving up their life. Hardcore, but brilliant. Before we can enter the Black Garden, we need to charge the Gate Lord's eye by hacking a Vex spire protected by the Cabal. Sounds difficult, but we're a badass Guardian, so this was but a bump in the road. Now back to the Black Garden. The transfer gate to the Black Garden is fortified by the Vex. Approaching the seemingly redundant structure brings it to life, and in an instant we travel across space and time. After battling through to the heart of the Black Garden, our Guardian is able to trick the Conflux into thinking they are a Gate Lord, and now it's time for the final battle.
So, think you can kill a god?
Don't think I have a choice.
It's a bit of a tough fight, but we fulfill our destiny, see what I did there, and destroy the heart of the Black Garden, vanquishing the darkness. To end the story, the speaker gives a rousing speech about how great Guardians are before the stranger gives us her rifle, which is absolutely trash, but it's a nice sentiment all the same. I'll let the stranger have the last say in this story.
Our fight is far from over.
Well, that was bloody anticlimactic. In Destiny's first expansion, we focus on the Hive and Eris Morn, a morally grey individual who never feels trustworthy even though she used to be a Guardian. She has us destroy the Sword of Crota and the Sworn Princes, as well as a whole bunch of Hive generals. The Hive are revealed to be awakening the soul of Crota, a godlike being who is bad news for humanity.
He will turn his eyes to Earth.
We banish Crota's soul and everything is great again. The Hive managed to release Crota regardless, but during the raid we eventually kill Crota once and for all. The next expansion, House of Wolves, has the Queen of the Awoken calling in that favour we owe them. Our Guardian is tasked with taking down the Fallen who have risen up against the Awoken. We successfully take down the House of Wolves and their Kell, Skolas.
Skolas! He's pulling the entire House of Wolves through time!
Skolas was attempting to use Vex technology to further his goals, but now he's a prisoner of the Awoken in the Prison of Elders. Short but sweet. Remember when we killed that Hive godlike being Crota? Well, his dad, Oryx, has found out about it and has arrived to wipe us all out. Let's see things from his point of view. We stopped every Hive attempt to invade Earth and killed his toddler Crota. It's only right that he's a bit miffed. Anyway, the Awoken are the first to confront the Hive god and are wiped out in one swoop of Oryx's sword. All Awoken forces are killed instantly, which include the Queen and her annoying brother. We don't actually see them die on camera, so maybe they're still around somewhere. Oryx wields the power of the darkness and is building an army of Taken. These are former Hive, Fallen, Vex and Cabal that have been corrupted by the darkness and now obey his every whim. Back in the last city, the Vanguard are attempting to understand the Awoken's decision to fight a far superior force when Eris walks in.
They are taken.
Eris, get your rock off my map.
It hasn't spoken since Crota fell. It speaks now, because Oryx has arrived.
K6 comes up with a plan to get a Guardian on Oryx's base of operations called the Dreadnought, using a stealth drive and Eris Morn's ship, which smells a bit like Hive.
Isn't this Eris Morn's ship?
Is it? Huh.
Cade and shipwright Amanda send an illegal scouting trip to the Dreadnought.
An unsanctioned op, using modified stealth tech, to infiltrate a dreadnought above Saturn's rings, so we can knock out its weapons, create a transmat zone, and send in the cavalry.
How about test flight?
The stealth drive breaks on the journey and we are killed. The end. We jump off just in time, but Erismon's ship won't be coming home anytime soon. Next, our Guardian discovers the gateway to Oryx can only be opened by Ascendant Hive, so we are forced to detour and rub ourselves on Crota's dead bits to mimic the Ascendant Hive. I'm sure it's more technical than that, but ultimately it's just standing under dead things. Lovely. Now that our Guardian can pass through the rupture, we face Oryx and beat the shit out of a grieving father, like the true heroes we are. An added cinematic shows how the Awoken Queen and Erismon were working together and manipulating us for their own means. Bitches. Eris takes a strange object from the remnants of Oryx's sword, but we know no more. We are literally just left. We have no idea what happens next. Before his death though, Oryx fully embraces the darkness to allow for another in-game raid. But once we kill him, in his own throne room no less, then he's dead for real this time, and the Hive War is stopped before it has a chance to start. The final expansion of Destiny 1 sees us looking at the history of the Iron Lords, who we've been fighting for in a monthly event called Iron Banner, without really knowing why. The Fallen have discovered a strange nanotechnology which is accelerating their combat abilities and making their race essentially superpowered due to the technological jump. Their first super weapon is Sepix Prime, the first boss we ever fought in Year 1 Destiny, who is now at a perfected status. Alongside the last Iron Lord Saladin, we launch a war on the House of the Fallen Devils, which finally reveals the history of those Iron Lords. Essentially, the Iron Lords were a group of guardians who protected humanity during the Golden Age. One of their key responsibilities was to bring down guardians who had become a little drunk on power and became tyrannical rulers known as warlords. Once these were taken care of, the Iron Lords discovered Siva, which was created by mankind a long time ago. Nanotechnology with the ability to consume materials in order to assist in the colonization of planets. The nanotech may have been created to help humanity inhabit planets, but the issue of destroying planets could not be ignored, and the project was terminated. If you've played Horizon Zero Dawn, it's pretty much the same principle as the Zero Dawn project. The Iron Lords attempted to once again use Siva to assist humanity's renaissance. At this point, Rasputin, one of the war minds created in the Golden Age, reactivated, sensed a threat, and used Siva to protect itself. A long story short, the Iron Lords fought their way out of the facility, with a touching moment occurring when Yolda sacrificed herself to lock Siva away forever. With only 2 Iron Lords surviving, Lord Saladin calls it a day and closes the door of the Iron Temple. But now, in the present, the temple is open once again. Over the course of the narrative, we track down the Siva replication room and find the dead Iron Lords, who have now been infused with Siva.
What's happening?
No, it can't be.
Forced into battle, our Guardians defeat a trio of former Iron Lords, including Yolda. Our final action is to destroy the Siva plant, narrowly escaping more explosions than an 80s action film. With Siva destroyed, we can now take one final trip to the Iron Temple, taking with us a piece of Iron Lord memorabilia, Yolda's helm no less. Maybe we should give this to Saladin.
We found this near it.
Thank you. She would be honored.
As a reward, we are given a flaming exotic sword, which is far better than the shitty gun we were given by the stranger a couple of years earlier. In our crowning moment, we are now officially an Iron Lord.
Take your place as an Iron Lord.
So there you go, 3 years of Destiny in super fast time. Now we are ready for Destiny 2 and another 3 years of grind. If you've picked up Destiny 2, then come join our Discord and let's play together. Details will be below. I'm Adam from PlayStation Grenade. It's been a pleasure. I'll see you next time.